So welcome to Betty's Designs. This is a live show on a Thursday. It's almost tea time. I managed to find some Prismacolor watercolor pencils on eBay. Trouble is I can't open the tin too many times, so I've popped them in the sleeves of my Derwent art bag. And they're in upside down and wrong, so I thought I had 24 and I haven't. I've got 36, so I think that's the full set. But I like them in these because I can kind of look at them. And I've got, it's a decent set. There's 2 or 3 yellows, there's a couple of oranges, there's some reddy oranges, orange reds, pinky reds, some purples. There's some purple blues, cold blues, there's some nice greens, some olive greens, browns, cold browns, warm browns, greys and a black. And again, you know, that would be, and there's 36, so that would be the perfect amount of colours. We've got but you can get away with a very cold yellow and a very warm yellow, a reddy red and a pinky red. We've got, it says that's a violet. The other says it's called copper. Oh, I can't read that one. Let me read it on the tin. Oh, it says ultramarine 222. Where's ultramarine? Have I not got an ultramarine then? No, maybe I've got different colours. Indigo blue is 221. That's indigo blue. No, that's not indigo blue. Oh. Oh, the snotty boy, bless him. We have. Oh, why can't I find 2902? Aha, no, 2909. I've got 2903, but I don't have 2902. So I don't have an ultramarine, which is rather strange. Right, okay then. Never mind. I'll try and find that one. This one's instead. Maybe it's 206. Nope, that says Copenhagen. That is not French ultramarine, so that's a bit weird, but never mind. Never mind. I was quite happy with it. If I've got to buy an odd one, I can buy an odd one, hopefully. It's a bit strange because there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34. I've got 36 pencils here. And it's a set of 36. So that's just me totally confused. The idiot's test, and I failed. I cannot find it. Maybe it'll turn up sooner or later. How strange. Never mind. I paid £20, so can't complain. And it wasn't really for the colours, although I was looking for a purple blue earlier. It was to do with. It was to do with trying out these colours and doing a comparison with my Derwent watercolour pencils, because I'm a bit of a Derwent nut. Oh, thank you, Suzanne. We were talking about pencil sharpeners, and she said the Bostik Electric doesn't eat your pencils. Oh, hi Kelly, welcome to Bonnie's Designs. It's there. I've just got the Egypts. It says 02 and I can't find an 02. I've got an 03 and an 01. I don't think I have. So that means Spanish orange. Oh, never mind. It's fine. It might be that one. The violet blue. But I can have a look. See if I can find it. So, without further ado, I am playing in my Hanna Karlzon Magical Dawn. So, this is the book that I'm using page by page. So, it doesn't matter what's on the next page, that's what I have to do, because I'm sick of going through books and missing out nice pages and not completing a book. So the idea is that when I do the last page, I've completed the entire book. What I am doing is scratching colour in either dry pencil or dry pastel or dry crayon. Any water-based medium that's dry. I'm scratching it on the surface and then I'm leaving it. Now some, like the pastel, needs the paper. The Derwent Graphitin don't. And these are prismacolors. And I thought they looked really interesting, and I watched somebody and they said they were very, very good quality, and I found some on eBay. So I thought I'd try this and then get the full set, but this is the full set. But it's a really good set because it's got the cold yellows and the warm yellows. It's got 2 or 3 reds, it's got 2 or 3 blues, warm blues and cold blues, purples, light greens and dark greens. It's got cold browns and warm browns and dark greys and light greys and black. So that would be, and there is a white and a couple of creams and peaches. So it's a very, very, very good set when you look at pure colour. So if you were going to get the maximum amount of watercolours or tubes, or you were going to get oil paints or acrylics or gouache, this is the maximum amount that you probably would need, because as we can do with these pencils, and you can do with watercolour and anything else you want to mix, you can put this green here with all of these other greens and some others as well, and get probably another 30 greens. You can put this green with a lot of probably every colour here, and we might try that, and you've got another 35 greens, and the original would be 36. This one, you've got the original colour. You can put this with every one, and you would have another 36 greens. If you put a small amount and more green, you will have 36 other greens. Another 36 greens, another 36 greens, and there's a green here, another 36 green parrot green. That's an awful lot of greens. And then you can mix 2 together. So you can mix that with that one, half and half this time. You can mix that one with that one, half and half. And then you'll have another set of greens. Especially with a water-based pigment like a pencil or a crayon, where you can scratch it on watercolour paper or good quality sketch paper, and you can get the colours next to each other, and then your brush just mixes next to each other, so you become one solid colour. It works on the principle, and this is a piece of card that I've been using, but today I put the indigo with the dark green because I didn't like the green. It wasn't the right green for me. But I could have picked any other green, or I could have picked a little bit of red in, because that's what I did. I put a bit of green in the red to tone it down, and I put a bit of red in the green to tone the green down. So I had two shades. So I had, sorry, that was our bungle. Oh, bless him. So you have one red and one green, and to get a shadow you just put a touch of the complementary colour, and I did that when I was doing my strawberry. But you could scratch any colour next to any colour, and you've got thousands of combinations, hundreds and hundreds of colours, and that's just with 36. So imagine what you can do with 72 Derwent watercolour pencils, or 72 Inktense pencils. And then not only that, but you have one pencil 50-50, or you can have quite a lot of that and a little bit of a little tiny bit. It's probably a tenth of every colour in here. So this would be a dull green, this would be a brighter green, this would make it a purple green. The reds and the purples will make olives. So out of every green you've got, by adding the different reds and purples, you'll get different olive colours, from dark to light. You get warm olives and you get cold olives. And that's nothing to say mixing the yellows and the blues to get green. So you've got 3 yellows and you've got quite a few blues, 6 blues. So you've got every combination of this yellow with 6 blues, this yellow with 6 blues, this yellow with 6 blues. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. And there's no palette and there's no washing your brushes out, there's none of that. All you're doing is scratching a tiny bit of colour next to a tiny bit of colour. And you can do it 2 ways. You can either make a book that I have. So if you only had the Graffy tint, which is 24, now it's not a very good example because they're very dark, but the Derwents are really vibrant. So we've scratched 1 square of all these colours on here, that's 36. But what I might do is scratch half this yellow and then next to it put the cream. So on my palette here, which is quite a big palette, I've got this cream, which would be here, I've got the mixture, which would be next to it, and then I've got the darker one. So I can do that in between every single one. And so that's going to give me, instead of a cadmium yellow and an orange, I could just have a little bit of the orange and I would have a gamboge. And these are all tertiary colours, so they're all in between. So you could do this with your pencils and with your neos. Now I've actually got about 120 neo colours. And again, I've only got 1 flesh colour, a salmon, 2 salmons and a flesh. I think the flesh is at the end. But what I could have done is mix this with a paler colour. I could have mixed this colour and got some cooler salmons and some warmer ones. So every colour I could have mixed with other colour, especially with the Caran d'Ache, because they're very easy to mix together, the neos. Same with the reds. You know, if I wanted something a little bit lighter than that, I could have made a square with a paler orange. So I can mix all these colours together to make another 20 colours. So even though you've only got a small set, I could make 72 colours. And that's what I intended to do with the neos, but I was so poorly I couldn't do it. I was going to make 100 neos out of about 30, purely by looking at colours, deciding if it was a reddy red or if it was a pinky red, finding my pinky reds that I had, and then mixing something with it to alter it slightly. So it's not a primary, it's not a tertiary, so it's not a secondary, it's not orange, it's a red orange or it's a pink orange, it's something in between. So you've got all your tertiaries and then you've got your really ready reds, and you've got your pinky reds, and you can have half a dozen in between. But I've only got 2 reds. So you can always do that, and then you can change the tone to be a shadow or to be a highlight by adding a darker or a lighter colour. So if you add a very pale pink to a dark red, you're going to get a highlight. So you're going to get, again, you've got your colours, then you've got your tones and your shades. So you can treble every single colour you have. And you don't have to make big squares, you can make little squares. Or if you didn't want to do that, you could just do it on a palette. If you decided that you wanted the whole page in reds, but you've only got half a dozen, scratch them on a bit of paper, or watercolour paper is quite good, but it's a waste, and I'm a tight Yorkshire lass. So you could do it on good quality sketchbook paper or cheap sketchbook paper, but you can do it on printer paper because it wouldn't take the amount of mixing. And then you mix 2 colours together, and then you can kind of have a real good palette, and the palette will match the page. So again, what I intend to do is to label these and put in my bullet journal for my colour book. I am going to put page 7 and 8 of the Hanna Karlzon Magical Dawn. I'm going to put Prismacolor, and I will have this attached, if it was just a small rough piece of paper, attached into my little book, which is about A5. And I will be able to then, years ago, look through this book and think, oh, I don't like those colours. Oh, I love those colours. Oh, I can't remember what I made. What did I do? How did I get those colours? And I can look at the number at the bottom, look in my colour book, and find a palette with all the colours. Now I do put a little bit of a number, so if this was red 15, I'd put red 15, or if it's the Derwent, I'd just put the number, and the same with the green. So you need to number what they are. This was a very rough thing, and that way you then build up, even if you can't remember, you build up a kind of colour book, so you can remember things. Or if you think, well, I like that red, but I can't remember, do I put orange with it, or is it yellower or is it orangier? You can look and you can find out exactly how to make that colour. And normally that's really difficult, because when you mix a colour, any professional artist will tell you always mix more than you think you're going to need, because the chances are you are never ever going to make that exact colour again. But if you've written down that you've got 2 little squares of red and 1 square of yellow, you're not going to be exact, but you're going to be pretty darn close. You can't do that if you've got a dollop of yellow and a dollop of red, because one dollop is going to be different to the other dollop. Your paintbrush might be wetter, your hand might slip more, you might a week later have drier paint. Your paint in your tube of your other tube might be a different make, and the pigment would be different. There's all sorts of things to take into consideration, but if you write down that you used the Prismacolor watercolour pencils and you had twice as much red as yellow, you can get that orange spot on. So there's a good way to do that, and although you think, oh well, I'm never going to like that colour ever again, you never know. I never thought I would like my Graphitint, and I absolutely love them. These are a muted colour, and they look like this when they are dry. And they look like this when they've been activated. So you get a good idea. So this is the same green. I think it's that one actually. But it'll become brighter. not very much. It's not a bright green. These are dull colours. These are graphy tint, which means they are basically a graphic pencil with a little bit of colour in, but they're quite muted and they're quite grungy and they look quite unusual. Most of the time you wouldn't want to use them if you were doing something very bright, but if you wanted something kind of a bit different, then that's going to give you that scope. And again, I've only got 24 of those, so I could add different colours to them. So I might do that on another video if anybody's interested. Have a play with colour from one set of pencils. So my idea was to have a play with my new colours. I had a very, very, very quick play, and I have to be a little bit careful because we have a new boy on the block, a new kid on the block. I think he's about 9 weeks old, and he's a little rescued kitten, our Bungle, who's just a fluffy boy. And bless him, he's just sitting in the basket. I'm woken you up now, darling, didn't I? Yes, I did. So this was my first play, and it was in the wrong kind of sketch paper, but it was fine. I had a little bit go through, but I was scrubbing. So I had a bit of a play, and then I didn't like the colours too bright, so I put a bit of red in the green, and I put a bit of green in the red. And I changed the colour, so I didn't have any other colour except for the green and the red. I tell a lie, I did. I put blue in it. I put blue in it. Yeah, I should never do things because I forget what I've done. Never mind. Oopsie. So, butterflies. And again, I can't look, I will make these squares, but I can't look at my colour scheme, which I would if these were Derwent watercolour pencils. I'd be looking here. Instead of looking at the end here and seeing one colour, I'd be looking at a pale blue and I'd see 10. So that's going to be really difficult for me today because I've not played with these before, but we'll persevere. I think purples, kind of like the idea of purples for the butterflies. We've got some very pale colours here, so peaches and cream, which is an unusual colour to have in a pencil, so that'd be nice. And then the dress, they look like leaves, so it's going to have to be greens and olives, I think, and then she can have hair. So we've got mulberry, which is WC2995. Now, if I'm very lucky, I'll be able to pop that on there. So I think pale body, so we've got a purple, I think it's the palest, is it the palest one? No, I think we'll have the palest one on the outside. So all I'm going to do is really carefully and probably be a little bit softer with these because I know that the Derwents melt like butter. So I don't want any pencil lines, but these look like they're not doing pencil lines. They're just very waxy, very, very crayony. Quite nice. So that's going to look really nice. Again, the disadvantage of doing this is you cannot tell what you're doing. You cannot rectify it once you've scribbled on it. But the advantage is that you can scribble the whole colour book and then you can leave all your neos. So I've got 100 neos, which I probably will use every colour by the time I've finished. I've got 72 Derwent watercolour pencils, I've got 72 ink 10s, I've got 72 ink blocks, I've got thousands of pastels, or I should say probably hundreds then, all these things will be scratched into this colour book, and then I will be taking away just a water brush. So I think, because we don't go away, and of course we rescue animals so we can't go away, I think what I will do is I will spend now until the new year finishing this book with colour, scribbled on, dry, pencil or crayon, water-based medium. And come the new year, I will then activate the pages in order, and by then I will have forgotten what I've used, so I have to write it down. So I'm finding it a little bit different, a bit difficult. Oh, you're welcome, Kenny, you're welcome. I can't actually remember what I said. Sorry. Honest to goodness, I am seriously losing my marbles, so apologies. This is why I have to write everything down. So I'll zoom in a little bit, and then you can see just exactly. Now the Derwent pencils, I kind of did earlier, you know, it's very rough, because I do know that these will melt. So it's quite rough. But these I'm doing very smooth, so that I know, even if they don't blend as well, which I'm sure they do, because it did say they were professional, I'm not going to be frightened. It's going to do exactly what I want it to do. So I like the idea of purples and pinks. I think we're going to have a purple and pink butterfly. And this looks identical colour, but it isn't. So I'm not going to be able to see that until I activate it with water. I think we might go down the blue route, actually, I think. Yeah, I'm seriously thinking that my little man needs to go to the vet, so I might ring up. Oh, he's been playing with his brothers. None of them reacted to the he's having his inoculations, and none of them reacted. I think I might go. This one was the purple, Copenhagen. I think that would be nice. Again, this is a real guessing game now, but I am sure that, you know, I know that the purples and blues will go together. So I'm hoping that we're going to have some really nice colours. Now I should be putting them back, and I'm not, but never mind. And this is a pale blue as well, so I think I'll have that one there. Oh, he's so snuffly. It's awful. It's like having a poorly baby. Such a snuffly boy. And the other thing is, these are very, very well pigmented because they are professional, so I know that. So again, I can leave gaps and know that when I've activated these four, on the end of my brush I'm going to have a pale version, so I can go somewhere else and do something else with it rather than just wipe it away. And again, as a tight Yorkshire lass, I wouldn't like to do that. So you didn't have to scratch every scrap of paper with a colour. So there seems to be some really nice colours here. And again, they look very similar, but they will not be similar. Just put that, and that's going to look like a shadow, so that's going to look nice. So once I've scratched 36 squares of colour, and I've labelled them all, and I've activated a small amount and made a colour swatch like this, I will know full colour or light colour. Now at the moment I'm doing full colour. So there's a dark indigo here. No, that's blue violet. Now you see, that does not look like blue violet. So I'm going to leave this in between. I kind of like the idea of, now this looks like a French ultramarine, and that's what a blue violet is. It's very much a warm purpley blue is an ultramarine. Kind of like that in there. So I kind of thought this would look quite nice. So you could sit in front of the TV and do this, and the fantastic thing is that when you finish the book, you probably have a suitcase of water-based mediums. So if you were carting about a full-sized tin with a, I mean, I know they don't do 126, but if you had 126 near colours, that's a heavy tin. You can't see all your colours at once unless you spread them out. You've got a tin or a box. Mine came in wooden boxes. 72 Derwent pencils, watercolour. 72 ink tens pencils. 72 ink tens blocks. .24 Graphitint in a box. And I also have what else have I got in here? I think that's all I've got in this one. But that's quite a large amount to be carrying to the beach or to be carrying around the hotel. It's quite a lot. Whereas this book just requires a brush that can be empty, and then you can get in an aeroplane and ask for a bottle of water and you can fill it up. And you can sit and colour. But I like best the fact you can do it for your children. If they want to play with your expensive things and you kind of shriek in horror, you could fill a book, a colour book, with colours and give them to your children with a water brush, and there's no mess. So again, keep them on the plane occupied for hours. If you know somebody that's disabled or somebody that doesn't have any colours, you could buy a colour book and you could colour it in for them. and you could send the book and it would be ready for them, because they might not be able to hold any pencils, a little bit like me now. So there's all sorts of possibilities. Has anybody got any questions? Oh, hi May, welcome to Bunny's Designs. Sorry if I missed you earlier. Yes, these are Prisma watercolours that I bought. There's the tin. There's the tin. But I can't open the tin very well, so I asked hubby. But it does say that they were professional quality and light fast, so I thought they'd be okay for it in the colour book. So I quite like that one. It's very soft. It was very quick to do. And I've been rather naughty and not put my pencils back. So I need to put the pinky one, blue one, darker purple, and I have one called violet blue, which will be next. Again, it's really difficult to see when you're looking at the end. Indigo's got to go up there. Oh, indigo's got to go there because it's next to the green one. I think that's probably why I'm not really bothered if I don't get them in order, because I can't do this until I see them in a square. So I'll do this one next. Has anybody got any questions? I'll just do this really quickly. And then we'll have a little bungle cam. Right, let's have a look. Oh, poor little man. He's not a well boy. I think we may have to take him to the vets. I have to say that Alfie's been a really good boy. He has, bless his little socks. And so we've had a purple one, so we have a pinky red one. Oh, blue, no, greeny blue. Yeah, we'll have the turquoises, the greens that what I call are not natural, if that makes any sense. So this one is parrot green. So there's lots of possibilities for this way of working. The only disadvantage is I would have to wait till I got back before I could rectify any drastic colour that I didn't like. But if you do a colour swatch and you know your colours, you have a rough idea of what it's going to do. This one is completely doing this one blind, but I'm sure it'll be fine. I quite fancy a deeper green, but didn't really want grass green, but I'll put grass green in. actually I don't know if I like that, so I might just put, and of course these blend beautifully and I'm not used to them, but I've just put a layer of parrot green and then I put a layer of spring green and then I've put another layer of parrot green over the top, and that's just given it a bit of a tint. So this one will be paler than that one. So these actually do, like the Derwent watercolours, they're really, really well behaved. There is a dark green, but put that as a background. So they're very nice. They seem to just not hold any sharp pencil lines, although I don't have a desperate sharp point on, but they seem to kind of almost be like a 2B pencil. They just smudge on. Very nice to work with. Yeah, the problem is I don't want to do that with this book, but I will do it in another page if I get a chance. What time are we on? I will do it in another page. The reason why is this book is just purely, the whole book is being done with dry water-based medium, and then in the new year I will be using a water brush and then activating them page by page as if I was on holiday. That's my intention. So this particular one, but I will pick another Hanna Karlzon one. So apologies for that, Kenny, but I really want to keep this dry, and then the whole idea is that the whole book has been coloured but not activated with water. So I am doing this quite blinded, except for I have a rough idea. You know, it's going to be a colour page. I don't think it's going to be too wacky. You know, green's a green. But I have been playing with colour for quite a long years. We started when we were 16. So we've done a lot of colour work. There's a song in there somewhere. I was 16 going on 17. That pale one, I think I'll do that one, spring green. Try and keep them together. But I will do another page. I've got time, I think, to do another page. This is very quick. Again, another reason why I like it. It's fairly quick. And I'm actually colouring a lot of space. I'm not doing like I did on the other one where I only did partial space. This one, what I might do with this one is just, I've done it the wrong way around, I think. We could have a bit of yellow going into green on this one. There's all sorts of combinations of colour, even if it's dry. You don't have to think everything's got to be one colour or everything's got to be kind of, well, I'll just put a bit of colour on it and then I'll have a paler version. If you want a lighter green, you can take that green to, I think I did that one with There's the olive. I've missed one. Oops, that wasn't the olive. Oh, thank you, Kenny. Yep, that's what the whole plan is, to do this in this particular way. And then, as if you were going on a big trip somewhere, you could spend all winter colouring this in, and then take the pencils, take the colour book and either a couple of riggers or take just a water brush, and you've got hundreds of colours already. And as I said, the only disadvantage is you can't change the colour once it's there. You can make it lighter if it's just a partial colour. But what you can do is, if it's really terrible and you don't like it, when you get back, you can just alter the bit you don't like. I mean, it's not going to be that you don't like every single colour. You know, it's going to be really highly unlikely that you make such a boo-boo that you don't like anything. I think that yellow's a bit bright, but by putting a green over that yellow, again, it's given me another green, and these blend. I think I did read that it was blendable, and they are definitely blending. Now that one's okay because I'm going to blend that one, but I've got another colour that I don't have. So, you know, you can make so many different colours. I'm going to put a little bit of indigo on there because I want that to be darker. So this is the olive green with indigo. So I'm going to put that one back. Oops, put it in the wrong place. You want a body. I think we'll do a dark body. And we had this colour. Whoopsie, we've got one of these silly corners again. So my colour book is going to be on a spiral backing, because there is nothing worse than having a gorgeous colour book and a silly spine in the middle. And I'm the same with sketchbooks now. Whether it's because I'm left-handed, I have no idea. But I can fill a spiral sketchbook, no problem. But other ones, I just can't get on with them. And it's just something I've recently found. So sometimes it takes you a while to find out what you like and what you don't like. So I've got some fairly light bits here, but I know that when I've been round here, I can squiggle into there and do some different colours. So I don't need to colour every single thing. It's like this one that's pale. When I've been around the outside, I'm going to go on the inside, and that will give me a paler version. Did that make sense? So if you were going, as I say, on a holiday, or you were going on a long road trip, we don't tend to have that bigger road trips in the UK, but I know if you're crossing Australia or America, then or Europe, you go for a long time. So, you know, a water brush is going to be something that you could use anywhere. Oops, I left a little one out, green one. So I think I better just put the tail in. or the string, because she's actually controlling the butterflies. So we'll put that one in. Oopsie. We'll put that one in. So I was worried that Alfie would feel a bit kind of nose pushed out, but I don't think he is, so that's good. Right, so I should be back on this page now. Again, there's no sharp lines, so that's quite nice. Yeah, my hand's beginning to hurt a bit now, but I'll persevere. Again, there's not much pressure, it's just the fact I'm gripping a pencil. But there's no pressure, so it's not so bad. We've got a nice cream and we've got a peach, and that one says orange, but I think it's a bit pale, so let's go back to this one. Let's have a look. So that could be the darkest. So this is orange. Sorry, I thought I was in frame there. I'll put this in orange. And that's Betsy Doodles scratching the carpet. So I'm just going to very quickly do all these orange. So it is fairly quick. Of course you can put whatever colours, whatever you want. I might just scribble this one in. The reason I do it this way, instead of doing one flower and then going to another, I have been known to make mistakes. So if I do every single thing with this colour that needs to be done, especially if I do something and then I don't finish the page because we run out of time, or if the children come home or something, you then have to faff about and remember which one you've used, and I can't remember, so I would try to finish at a convenient moment and make sure that all these have got their orange stamens. And so I've got a cream and I've got a pink. I think the cream might be nice. Oh, that's very, very... Okay, then we'll have pink edges. So I could do pinks. And again, these are really quite nice to use. There's no pencil lines. They seem to be holding their own. I think it did say something like, you know, they're not going to snap or disintegrate. With pastels and particularly pastels, it's a very soft medium, so you find they go blunter quicker, but these are quite nice. Just kind of find the flower. So if you've got any questions. Suzanne says he's number one, and yeah, not sure about that one now. I think no, he's still my boy, but he's kind of grown up a bit, and I'm quite pleased. He's kind of he was very needy and had to be with me, and I've come home and it's like, you've been away, so fine, that's it. And that's quite good for him, because that was his big issue, was separation. He didn't do separation very well, so that's taught him a lesson to be, we go away but we come back, and it's something that he couldn't grasp because he was left. So, which was perfect timing, because I thought I'd have a real struggle with Bungle, but Bungle, a little puss, is asleep. But I'm just going to have a word with the lady and say, I think I might have to take him to the vets. I think he needs a bit of something. He's not coping with this cold. He's had it too long now. It's a reaction to the what was it? What do we call it? Inoculation. But it really sounded bad last night when he was in the car. It was like he was having an asthma attack, so I think it might be. So, and again, they don't seem to come off, so that's another good plus for them. These are just going to melt, hopefully, really nice. I did have a little play when I did the strawberry, but it's not how I normally work, so it was a bit alien for me. What do we want? We want pink on the edge. And ivory, and again we've got that silly corner, so so I think we've done everything. Now we've got two different leaves. We've got a paler leaf, and then we've got these leaves here as well, so I've got to think about that, but we've done all the flowers, so that can go back. And I've done quite a lot, and the cream and the cream colour's done quite well. The pink has done. I mean, there's a tiny little bit from that, and the cream, the orange colour. There's a little bit of a lip where you can see I've used. So they're holding their own quite well. So I'm quite impressed with that. I think I like the olive green, but then there's an olive and then there's a dark. No, I haven't got a dark olive. So we may have to do a bit of mixing. I think I like these olive, so I'm going to do these first. So I'll just, and I'm not doing this in the watercolour effect, I'm just going to activate them as green, I think. So this is the only time that I'll be doing this blind, because I will hopefully have these in my watercolour book, and I will be able to see not only the pencil colour, the true colour, I will also have a sample of at least 10 shades. So I know that if I left this, that would make a palish shade at the top. So instead of it doing one full colour, so I'm going to take that up into the dress, and there will be space to go into the dress. So I'll have a very pale olive at the top, which makes me think I can get away with a very unusual green. So you do have to have a bit of colour sense. It's not a case of just picking a colour up and scribbling, but with a bit of thought. And if you've used these before, normally I would use ones that I've used before. It just happens that I like to want to use them, and it's something again I don't normally do. You wouldn't get your best watercolour paper out and then start slapping paint on it that you've just bought. You would get your cheap sketchbook and have a bit of a play with some 2 dots of the colour, and then you will probably do a little bit of something else with the watercolours, and then when you were really good and you had a really good subject, you would then set out your proper palette and you get your watercolours out, and you will then use your very expensive watercolour paper. And the same with colour books, really. You could have started with a colour page that I didn't like in another book. That's what probably I would have done, and if I really didn't know, I would have photocopied this page, and then I could have had a play. My problem is probably just going to struggle colouring this one in at the moment, even though these are really nice to use, which is why I want them in my colour book of watercolours, because I'll be able to use these even though I can't pick a pencil up. So there's always a way to use things. So thanks for stopping by, guys. Thank you for watching on YouTube. If you have any requests or you want to see anything, the quality is never going to be brilliant because it's recorded on YouTube. Sorry, beg your pardon, it's recorded on Ustream, and which is wonderful and free, but it's not recorded in HD. So you tend to lose a little bit of quality, and it's a bit of a live show, and we have show and tells with various creatures, and what some people maybe don't understand is, you know, this video might be the first one you watched, but I did start recording at 8 o'clock, 8:30 this morning, and it's 10 to 4. So by the end of the afternoon, the throat tends to want to give up a bit. So apologies for the croaky voice, apologies for the not so brilliant quality video, but hopefully we can get 1 or 2 ideas and it's not too bad. I do like the idea of doing this for somebody who's in a home, or somebody who struggles with pencils but likes to colour, or somebody that perhaps is disabled. It would be nice to create one of these books between now and Christmas and then present them with a water brush, and they can just sit, and there can't be any question of not doing it because it's a water brush. There's no mess, and I kind of like that idea. I don't know if that is supposed to be a leaf, but I don't like this dark green. It's not nice, so I'm going to put this olive over the top. And I don't need to normally do that with the Derwents because I know what they're going to do, but I had a bit of a play earlier with this dark green, and it wasn't the colour that I would have got. And little boy is crying. So we'll have a bungle cam in a second when I finish this. We need some stems. Oh, it might be earlier than we think. Hi, Bungle. So, bear with me 2 seconds. Oh, Bungle. I'm going to have to take him to the vets, I think. Bungle's had a wake up. Haven't you, Bungle? You're going back to sleep again. You're tired. Hello, darling. Hello. So this is our new boy. He's blowing bubbles with his nose. How fit him. Bungle baby. Bungle. He's all bunged up, aren't you? I don't like this. He's had this since I've seen him, so we need to get rid of it, don't we, Bungle? You've had it for long enough. So still a minute. Got a hair up your nose as well. Well, he had really bad eyes. Oh, got a hair now. You can never have clean fingers when you have pets. Oh, and he's so patient, bless his little socks. Just got to get that hair. We don't want that hair going up your nose. I'm always poking you out, a little man. Let's see if we can just clean that nose out a bit. Oh no, darling, keep still, darling. Good boy. Oh, it's bunged, isn't it? Poor Bungle. I'm not going to touch your eyes because we've been poking with your nose. Oops, what was that? Poor little boy. He's a good boy. Oh, he's such a little delicate thing. Aren't you? Such a delicate little boy. He hasn't had much to eat today, so... You a hungry boy? You had a lot to eat yesterday, didn't you? You like your tummy tickled, don't you? You're a very snotty boy. You're a very snotty boy, Bungle. I know. Poking the nose. I know, darling. I know, but you need to get it clean. Too snotty. Snotty boy. He's beautiful. Poor little baby. Poor little lamb. Hello, darling. Are you tired? Going to cry? You're going to sneeze all over me. I know what you're going to do. You're going to sneeze. You're going to sneeze all over your mummy. Aren't you? Take you to see the vets. Take you to see the vets. Because you're a snotty boy. Poor little man. I don't think he has a fever. He went to see the vet a couple of days ago. He's been playing. He's just a Quiet boy, aren't you? He's a quiet boy. He's just a quiet boy. I mean, he's been like this every time I've seen him. He did have I know you're going to sneeze because I've poked your nose. I know. He did play for about 3 hours yesterday. And he's eating, so it's just, he is a bit, I can hear him being a bit, right, I need some baby wipes. Let me have a look. What did I do with my baby? Sorry, apologies. Sorry, Suzanne. I apologise. It's because my hubby brought me a drink of tea, and then Bungle started to sneeze. So I'll leave these pale, and then when I get the colour on the brush, I shall just go up there really carefully, and these will be nice, and these are going to be pale as well. And this colour is going to be filled in. So we need the dress. I think I'm going to do the olive. Oh, it's going to have a white skirt. I think I might do the olive as a frill. So she's got a frill on the bottom of her dress. So very soft. It's because hubby keeps coming in and out and I keep turning the volume off, so I apologise for that. Wasn't doing anything in particular, just colouring. So I kind of like the idea that this is dark and then the dress. Now I can actually get into a bit of this with the brush, because I'll be using the Derwent number 1. And I think I kind of like the idea that this olive pale colour would go up to there. Just had an avalanche. Again, I think I'm going to have the ribbon green, so it's just going to kind of be an off green. And I could have made that a highlight, but I'm not, because I kind of like the idea that it's a rich colour, although I think I'm going to have to make that the highlight up, pretty sure. Would be quite nice underneath. So thanks for stopping by, everybody. I hope everybody's okay. It's getting just starting to get dusk here, so I'm going to leave the tips so that I can make them highlight. Oh, thank you. I think I just like the idea of a lighter thing. Now I suppose I could have had a sharper pencil, but it's fine. So she's got stars in her hair. Now it would have been nice to know what the difference is between dark brown and dark umber. So they're cold. I've got terracotta and goldenrod. So I would think that, and I've got brown sienna. So they're going to be kind of warm. So I kind of think she's going to be quite dark hair. So I'm going to try and put the darker one underneath, like a dark nut brown. And then we can have this colour. Now I could have even put a straw colour on there, but 2 colours is probably going to be okay. So underneath is dark, So that one's going to be dark. And that one's going to be paler. Then that's going to be paler. I had thought of not colouring the whole of the hair, but I think I would. Oh, thank you, Kenny. Thank you. Right, so again, got to look. That's the darkest one. Pop that one under there. And if I did this and I really hated it, there's no reason once I get back it's going to be completely dry. I can just scratch some more colour over the top. So it isn't the end of the world if you think, oh my goodness, look at that colour. So that's another thing to think about. It's not the end of the world if you really don't like the colour. Now obviously you can't make things extremely light unless you use gouache, but there's always a way to rectify a colour if you really don't like it. So this is going to be lighter. Oh, Bungle, he's such a bungle boy. I think I might just, oops. Oh, let me take that out. You're not going to eat your biscuits. So there's going to be a bit of variation. So that's going to be quite nice. And I think I'll put that one darker. Oopsie, some barks going on, but I'm so pleased Alfie's kind of sorted himself out a bit and grown up a bit, bless him. He can't meet Bungle yet because he's still a bit Alfie's still a bit kind of grumpy, and his favourite thing is to chase cats. So, and he doesn't do it when he's inside. It's just any opportunity with Alf. So maybe I should have left some highlights or put lots of colours together, but it's okay. It's going to be okay. And it should look quite nice when it's done. And you can do this when you're watching TV. Oh, hi Chris! Welcome to Benny's Designs. I'm using Prisma watercolour pencils that I found on eBay. So I did the The Amazon gremlin got me. I don't know if anybody can hear that snoring, but it's a bungle being bunged up, bless him. So we'd acquired I think he's about 9 weeks old, a 9-week-old kitten. I resisted long enough. Although my daughter said that she'd been there 2 years and she didn't get one. So. And nobody wanted the little boys, and I thought they were so cute. So he's going to live with us. And his first night was fine last night, so. But he was asleep most of yesterday anyway, so because I couldn't find him, he was behind the fridge with his brother. The lady did say he likes to hide, and he frightened the life out of me because I couldn't find him, and I thought he was in the garden. I couldn't find him. Oh, we've got a snorer. Oh, we have a snorer. Oh, that's because he's bunged up, bless him. So I kind of like that. Not sure about a background, but there again, that's me. I don't do backgrounds. So I just tap this down, and I'm worried about Bungle being so snotty. So we've got cat biscuits. So we've got some nice colour. It's not going anywhere. I can pop those back in there. This was the tin, but I couldn't open it, so after the second attempt I gave up. So they come in a set of 36. Now I did buy this on eBay, and it was a very, very good price. I think I paid £20. So I wanted to it said professional. I was watching somebody use them and thought, oh, they look quite nice and quite good quality. So I will do a comparison next week with watercolour Derwent watercolour pencils. I am a Derwent nut, but I've really enjoyed this. So this is Magical Dawn, and what I'm doing is taking I'm starting from the beginning and doing every page in order. I am scratching colour, so it's either a crayon, a water-based crayon, or a water-based pencil. Scratching colour where I think I want to have some in highlights, where I don't. That's Neocolor 2s. This is Derwent Pastel, and I don't think I need that actually. This is Derwent Pencil. Love these rich colours from this Derwent watercolour pencil. The next one is, I think this one is, it looks like a pencil. I think that could be watercolours as well. I did make a video, but unfortunately I've got memory like a sieve. Now the next one is pastel pencils, the Derwent pastel pencils, and they do need tracing paper or some other cheap paper. I tend to use tracing paper because I can use it in a book if I want to make any background changes, and I use printer paper because the printer happens to be just there, so again, don't have to get up. This is Derwent Graphitint that I finished earlier, so there's 2 videos for this one, and then this one is the Prisma watercolour pencils. So I'm swapping between these things. So that's my Prisma and my Magical Dawn. Thank you for watching.